Hello everybody, welcome back to Lauren Loves Color. This is Lauren, and man, it has been a while since I have filmed. I think it has been about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks since I have filmed. I had filmed so many videos ahead, and so I have still been getting over this bad cold. I still have this persistent cough. I've been waiting for it to go away. It has not gone away. And see, it hears me talking about it, so I'm going to cough through this video. I just know it. So, but I wanted to come to you today because I am a little bit behind. I want to show you these books. It is time for me to do a flip-in review. I have 4 really cool books, one that just came in the mail for me today. So let's go ahead and dive in and get started. The first one I have for you today is called Flowers and Butterflies, and this is a color by number book by Sachdeva, who is the busiest man in the world right now. And this is his newest release that he has, and I know that he has another release, I think, from his wife coming out in the next day or so, so be out on the lookout for that. But this is another color by number book, and this one is around flowers and butterflies. I don't know why I am continuing to repeat that. But it says, explore the vivid, breathtaking, gorgeous looking winged beauties of nature in this book with over 25 illustrations of charming butterflies with floral backgrounds. Use the numbered color key to create perfectly natural pictures. Illustrations are printed on one side of the page with black backed pages, which helps prevent bleed through, but disclaimer, still use cardstock or paper behind it. Color guide is printed on the back of the cover for your reference. It has all of his Facebook information, all of his other color by number series, which are amazing and excellent. Go check them out if you haven't. On the back of the book is his standard 21 color palette that he has, some sample images, and then some of the other books that he has. Beautiful Birds being the one most recently prior to this that was a color by number book. So let's take a look at the inside of the book. I have had an opportunity to color a couple of pictures out of here. This is my little sticky note with my Cali Art marker color matches. If you ever want the color matches from me, shoot me a message down below in the comments and I'd be happy to send those to you. He always has a cute This Book Belongs To page, and then this is where we get started. He also always has a really nice, cute little image up here, and then his color palette listed on the left-hand side. It's not just the colors that are used in the image itself. Excuse me, it is the entire color palette. On the image, you will see this is one of the first ones that I did. They are all simpler images, and when I first colored this, I was kind of in a rush. I didn't pay a lot of close attention, and so I really didn't like how it turned out. I like to just straight color for the most part. I don't do a lot of like fancy shading or anything like that, and so I just straight colored it. And so I decided I would come back today and actually revive this picture, which is what I did. And I'm going to see if I can turn up the light a little bit if you're actually able to see some of the details and glisten and gleam on this page. So what I actually did is I came back and I outlined in a darker color marker around each kind of block of color. And then I used glitter gel pen to define some of the petals more because I kind of found that it was getting lost in the, is it better with dimmer light? Maybe not. I don't know if you can see that, but I used gel pen to kind of define around each of the leaves in the flower just to make them stand out some more. And then I just went crazy with my white gel pen. I did kind of small dots of gel pen around some parts of the butterflies and then larger dots. I kind of defined each of the inside of the flowers and just had a lot of fun with it. And also I had a really splotchy background. You could see kind of where the marker had dried and I had restarted. And so I just took my colorless blender that I just never use and I just went over it, and it added a kind of nicely textured feel to the image. And so I absolutely love this. And then this is the second image that I did today. I actually used colored pencil in the background and kind of used a light blue colored pencil, and then around the outside did a kind of darker blue and then blended that in. And so I really like how this turned out. So that's just to show you what you can do with some of these images since they are a little bit simpler. All of these too, and one thing that I had noticed is there is a lot of space for background, and he does have, I think on the vast majority of his images indicates, many of them are the number 12, which is a light blue, some are an 11, but he does have kind of an indication to color the background. Now, of course, you don't have to do that, But I'm a rule follower, and so I feel like if the artist indicates to color the background, that's what I'm gonna do. And so I've decided I'm just going to use colored pencils. I also got out my son's crayons and kind of figured, well, for these larger spaces, I didn't want to waste marker. Plus, I don't feel like marker looks great in large spaces like that. If you let alcohol ink dry, it gets really splotchy. Water-based markers really streaky, and so I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do in lieu of that. And so that's why I tried colored pencil. I have a whole set of Prismacolors. I might as well use them. And I really like how the effect turned out. And I also liked coloring, just straight coloring, but then outlining in a darker color around it. It kind of gives it more of a 3D looking effect. And so it's really inspired me for this book, and I definitely see myself coloring in here some more. But it is nice, I think, for just kind of quick color to paper images. You can obviously just straight color this if you want to. Something like crayons would actually work very well in here. So this is going to give me an opportunity to practice some creativity and do something a little bit different. And I love butterflies and flowers, so I think this is an absolutely perfect book to try. I like this one with the wood, with the tree. So really, really nice. This is just the end of the book with feedback for Amazon. He always has some nice color chart sheets that you can indicate what colors, markers and things that you want to use, test out some things on some pages. And then you can see I actually had an attempt at blending here, which was very unsuccessful, but I was trying some different techniques in the book. So that is Flowers and Butterflies by Sachin Sachdeva. Next, I was so kindly sent this book by the Belba family. This is their 3-color series, Animals and Birds. And this book here, I'm sure you guys, many of you guys are already familiar and have seen the first 3-color series that came out, which was Celebrities. And so all you have to do is get a light, a middle, and a dark color. You can do something that's kind of monochrome. You can do like black and white and gray. You could do something that was monochrome, or you can kind of mix up the colors and just use a variety. And you will see in this book, I chose a variety, and I had a lot of fun in this book. These are all 3 by 3 millimeter sections. There's their books belongs to page. This gives a really nice, just detailed information about how you can use the book and use 3 colors. These are their templates that you can actually cut out if you want to. And then these are the images in the book. And it's actually nice to do a flip through in this book because you can kind of see what they are. So clearly a cat. This is the cover image with the duck and the bow tie. And what I love about these images is the fact that you can really, it really sparks creativity. Because for me, what I thought of was like, why don't I just pick my own colors? And sometimes picking my colors for books that are non-color by number is very intimidating to me. But when it's only 3 colors, it's actually fairly easy to kind of figure out what you want to pick. Cute little squirrel guy. So I decided to just inspire myself, do something different, and to try to pick different colors. This is a horse, and that's really pretty. And these also go by really fast. The 3 by 3 millimeter, I think I've kind of mentioned, sometimes can come across as really tedious to me because they just take a lot of time. They're really beautiful when they're done because they're not as pixelated. They're not as hard to see, you know, the final image, but they can take a lot of time. But these don't, because they're, you know, don't take up the whole page. I found that I was able to color these in about an hour. This is one of the first ones that I did, and it's going to be kind of hard to see, but what I ended up choosing was when I saw the eagle, I instantly thought of, well, the eagle is such a symbolic bird for those of us in the United States, and so I thought of red, white, and blue of our flag colors, and so that's what I did. So you can't really see it well in the camera, but there I used white gel pen for the white, and then I chose red and blue, and so you don't necessarily, like I said, have to follow their color patterns, but as long as you have good, nice, contrasting colors and kind of a light, medium, and dark, it works out really, really well. And I mean, clearly you can see from the video, it still gives me a really, really nice effect. This little bear. And this like yak looking guy. This one I really want to do. It's like this little meerkat family, I think. It looks really cute. And his parrots. I was kind of thinking of doing like red and turquoise and blue. This guy I absolutely love. This guy I did is an alligator, and I thought instantly of Mardi Gras when I saw him in Louisiana. And excuse me, my husband is opening some packages downstairs. And so I used my Stabilo pens, and I also used the dot method. So I didn't do X's or fill in all the squares. But this is, I used Pentel Sparkle Pop Gold gel pen, and it's beautiful. It's shiny and gorgeous and sparkly, and I thought it would be cute to do him Mardi Gras themed. And you can see this still created quite a bit of detail, and I just chose 3 colors that I wanted. So I could definitely see doing like sports teams, or maybe like the flag colors where the animal comes from, or just choosing something that kind of fits or suits the animal. Or even, I think what I did is I just went onto Google and I just searched 3 color palettes, and that's how I found the palette, the last palette for my for the last image that I colored in here. But I really went through coloring a lot of these in a day and really, really enjoyed it. This is a really, really fun series. Yeah, this guy. So this chameleon, I just searched for 3 color palettes, 3 color palettes, and found this color palette. And this was the first image I actually colored in this book, and I absolutely love him. I think he's adorable. But I mean, these go by really quickly, and they're just really fun. So Belba Family social media is a list of all of their other books. So this is the second in the, does it even have it on here, the 3 color series? Yeah, 3 color series. So they have celebrities, and then this is their second one, which is animals and birds. The Stone Mosaic series is my other like super I love the Stone Mosaic series. And I like the designs on the backs of the pages too. I just think Belba Family is just extremely thoughtful. So that is the 3 color series, Animals and Birds. And of course, as you know, I will link all of the, put the links to all of these books down below in the description box if you are interested. Next is going to be the Color by Number Beautiful Patterns by Jade Summer. I collect their Color by Number books. I say collect because they just started coming out with them last year. They use a 30 color palette, which is actually a rather big palette. This is one of the ones, their color palette is consistent from book to book, which I really like. However, their color palette is one of the harder ones to match. I have to use some of my larger sets of markers to match them. I have not colored anything out of this book yet, but just kind of wanted to show you because I know a lot of you guys like the Jade Summer Color by Number. This is consistent with all of their other books. They have the full color palette listed on the back side, the image on the right side, and I think there are 50 images in this book. So I'm going to flip through this one rather quickly. One thing that I definitely noticed about this book is that all of the spaces in here seem a little bit larger. So some of their other Color by Number books, I think their other pattern book and then their mandala book sometimes have really, really small, tight spaces in some of the patterns where I have to use like fine liners or my Teotree markers or just some smaller marker sets to get into some of those fine details. And none of the patterns in this book are like that. So you're actually able to color, I think, with some pretty standard marker sets. So I love coloring these pattern books. I find them very relaxing. I have their other pattern book. And one thing that I can't stop seeing, and I'm going to see if I can find it in another page. Yes, so like a page like this. I don't know why, but all I see are fingers, like fingernails, just with the way that the patterns are. So it just looks like fingernails to me. And there's some that are more like fingerly like than others. I don't know. I'm sure they look beautiful once they're colored and stuff, but it's just kind of funny. It's just like what image popped in my mind. But these are actually really nice. I like this style. I will say I feel like there's maybe a little bit of a less variety of patterns in this book than there were in the first Jade Summer Patterns book. I feel like they're somewhat similar. They're all these kind of rounded designs. But I like this style. So that's also why I wanted to do a flip of this, was because you may really, really love this style. like me and really like this book, or you may feel like the style is not for you, whereas I feel like the other patterns book, it had some variety, kind of some larger variety of patterns. You kind of see this little line and dot, you know, motif and stuff quite a bit. You see it here and stuff as well. But I do think they are really beautiful. And I haven't seen too many people color out of this book yet. I mean, it just came out, I think, at the end of last week. So I haven't seen a ton of people pick this book up yet or color in it. So I'll be curious to kind of get some marker to paper and color in here. I bet I'll really like it. But I'm also really trying to get through my Jade Summer Mandala color by number book, because that's on a challenge to 10 books to finish by the end of the year. So I'm kind of trying to give that one the majority of love. But custom color chart in the back. You can choose your own colors and stuff here, which is really nice. And they have some that are just numbers in case you kind of want to mix it up. The freedom of doing a patterns book like this is that you don't necessarily have to follow the yeah, here's all of their color by number books are right here. I'll zoom in a little bit for you so you can see beautiful patterns, Christmas, flowers, mandalas, and then just their regular patterns book. I have all of them. I do really like their color by number books. I wish they maybe would shrink down their palette a little bit, but other than that, that's fine. Yeah, and then they give you a nice sample page in the back. This is from their flowers book. So that is it. That is the Jade Summer Beautiful Patterns book. But what I was saying is you don't necessarily have to follow the color palette. If you pick out the markers and you decide, hey, I want to change it, you totally have the freedom to do that. Last but certainly not least, this is a brand new book. It just came in the mail for me today. And this was happy mail for me. So I got sent this beautiful book by a subscriber. And so I'm not going to mention her name because I didn't ask her whether or not she was okay with it. But in my haul, I will make sure that I ask her and give her the credit that she deserves for sending this to me. So thank you so much. You know who you are. And I greatly appreciate it. I also want to credit Erica from Our Colorful World 3 on Instagram. I actually saw her post this book. She received this book, I believe, in this past week. And so I was kind of surprised that I got it because I just added it to my wish list after seeing her kind of flip through a couple of pages of this. Because I think this is a brand new book. This is by Design Originals. It looks to be illustrated by Susan Lind. It's called Color by Number, The Simple Joys of Life. 30 plus designs featuring flowers, butterflies, puppies, and more. So this book here gives you a little bit of information about the author. And I haven't flipped through this book yet, so I'm kind of going through it while you guys are. And there's actually a nice little introduction here about the use of colored pencils and pens, markers. Interesting. So just some tips. Color theory, a nice little color wheel for you here. Oh, color schemes. Oh, interesting. I might find that very, very interesting. Okay, here's their color palette. So it looks like it is a 30 color palette. It is a very, very interesting color palette. This is not like one that I have seen before. Let me zoom you guys in. This is not a typical color by number palette. I would say these are a lot more pastels and light colors than probably what I'm used to seeing. And it looks like there's information about the palette. So very, very interesting. So very, very interesting color palette. So I'll be interested to kind of dive into that. I don't know how well I'll be able to match some of my markers to that. And then it looks like she also has some hand colored examples. So this is also really cool. So you can see some examples of the images colored. It does look like all of these examples are with colored pencils. This is with Conte crayons, whatever that is. Oh, this is with marker. Isn't he cute? Again, with the Conte crayons. Oh my gosh, I have no idea what that is. Colored pencils. And then they have a gallery of images. So close your eyes if you don't want to see this. But you can see some of the colored images. So it's quite a variety of different images. And the color palette is really cool. So yeah, I'm excited about this. This is really, really neat. This is something so different, and this is kind of what I told Erica. This is so different from anything that I have. So each of the pages, they are numbered down at the bottom. This is thicker than normal Amazon paper. It is very, very smooth. But I guess colored pencils work well on it. I may have to use colored pencils because I don't know if I'm going to have great color matches with some of these. The line art on here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I feel like you may not be able to see the line art very well. The line art on here is a little bit lighter. It reminds me of a George Tufexis books, if you're familiar with those Creative Haven George Tufexis books. I feel like maybe it's slightly darker than what his line work is. It's not gray. It is black, but the lines are very, very small. And they do have the color palette listed down below of all the colors that they use just in the image, which is really, really nice. Oh yeah, and the pages are single-sided, which is even more awesome. Look at this bird page. And balloons. Is it perforated? Yes, the pages are perforated as well. Dragonflies. Flowers. This almost looks like maybe it's like a pendant or something. So you definitely need to use like fine liners in here, or use, I don't even know that my Teotree markers would work well in here because some of these spaces are small. So yeah, this probably lends itself pretty well to colored pencils or to using, I may even try to use like some water-based markers in here. And see how that works. Because some of the spaces are small, it shouldn't streak too bad. And we'll see. Maybe I'll use my Tombos in here. That's not a bad idea. I have a lot of pastel color Tombos and stuff too. Maybe I will give that a try. But yeah, like this is not your typical like Christmas color palette. But this is obviously a Christmas picture with ornaments and some more flowers. These cute kitty cats. Wind chimes. I just thought these pictures were so interesting. They're so different than anything that I have. The seahorses and snowflakes. This one has a much smaller color palette, just the blues. This looks divine. All of these little sweet treats. Seashells. A puppy dog. This is like a quilt. This might be a good one to start with since this one looks pretty simple. Fruit. This would be good for like a scavenger hunt. All these different little hands and shoes. Vases. Do you say vases? Do you say vases? I say vases. Chocolates. Sunflowers. Looks like these rattles or candies. Ooh, shopping bags. Candles. Bouquet. Some roses. So that is it, guys. Really, really cool. Really cool book. It says it's 32 color by number designs that are sure to make you smile, from seashells, sweets, and cozy candles to flowers, flamingos, pets, and so much more. Each illustration features a suggested color palette in lightly numbered sections so that all the color schemes are already chosen for you. This coloring book is the ultimate way to unwind and appreciate all the little things as you bring them to life. Also included are tips on supplies, techniques, and color theory, as well as galleries of hand-colored examples and completed design keys. Illustrations are printed on a single side of high-quality, extra-thick paper with perforated edges for easy removal and display. Super, super cool. So yeah, so thank you so much to my subscriber that sent this to me. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to have a lot of fun in this book. So with that being said, let me bring, before I knock you guys over, let me bring everything back. These are the 4 books that we looked at. These are all really awesome, and I really enjoyed coloring them. So I will leave everything again in the description box down below. With that being said, it sounds like I'm about to cough, so I am going to sign off. I will see you all again soon in the next video. Bye.